I got music again. Get on in here. It's time.
All day I rush around, but I'm still on the ground, on the ground. I'll soon be fluttering.
I got my tea.
If I can find my wings, find my wings. Impatiently, I want to fly today, but I hear a gentle voice inside me say that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will take some time, but the victory will be mine. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly. I'm starting to believe I only race with me, only me. I can't give to someone else this journey for myself. It's for myself. Since my best is all I have, it is enough. I can see a ray of hope. I've got to trust that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will take some time, but the victory will be mine.
3 o'clock
Slow
Eastern
and
time.
steady,
PM.
I'm gonna learn to fly, and I will soar. I will reach the sky, a little at a time. I'm reaching. I keep believing that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps
We'll let everybody get in
will
here.
win this race.
That's why I play music.
It will take some time,
And we have
but
really
the
good
victory
music.
will be mine. Slow and steady.
Good for you, shining your sink, Rachel.
I'm gonna learn to fly. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly.
Wow, that's just a comforting song. Because the reason we crash and burn is because we want what we want and we want it now. And if we will just take our time establishing simple habits, stringing them into tiny routines, like 3-step routines, we're going to do more. We're going to change our homes because we don't have to crash and burn anymore. We don't have to do this. All we do is just take baby steps. We even have a book called The 31 Baby Steps. Let me see if I can find it. everything doesn't fall. Chaos to Clean in 31 Easy Baby Steps. It's on our website. It's on Amazon. Get it now. You know, we're coming up on, here it is, is it the 24th? Yeah, it's the 20, no, today's the 23rd. Tomorrow's the 24th. The 24th is my daddy's birthday. I don't know how old. He was born in 1934. So I could do the math, but I don't want to think that hard right now. So tomorrow would have been his birthday, and he's been dead since 1992. And he took me to my first day of school. And it was first grade, not kindergarten. We didn't have kindergarten when I started school in the early 60s. So I was born in 56. So I was 6 years old when I started school. So that would have been 1962. And my teacher was Miss Wyatt, Wyatt. We all said White, but it was Wyatt. And she was an older lady, and our schoolroom was an old house back behind the school because there had been some remodeling done. They were remodeling the cafeteria, and we had to have lunch in this old, it was an old white house. I remember it. And she was an amazing lady, and she used to milk cows. And I guess milking cows gives you muscles in places you didn't know you had. Because when somebody had an apple and they wanted to share it with someone, instead of taking a knife out and cutting the apple, she would take the apple and go and twist it. And it would just pop. I just thought that was the most amazing thing, that she could twist an apple and with her hands. She could grip it so. And she also had us do something else. She had us, and this house had a kitchen in it, and it had a stove in it. And we would bring our little slivers of soap, or little pieces of soap that we had, instead of throwing them away or letting them get slimy on the bathroom sink. She said, bring them to me. And she would collect them, and she would put them on the stove with a pot of water and bring it to a boil until everything dissolved. And then she would reduce it down, and she would put it in a little squeeze bottle of some kind, probably, like a dish soap bottle. And then before we ate lunch, she would make us all wash our hands. And she would squirt a little bit in our hands, and we'd have to go to the bathroom and wash our hands. She made soap out of nothing. I mean, literally, she made soap. She's the one, when I was 6 years old, she taught me that soap is soap. See, God has prepared me all along the way to be here to teach you something. So when you think you need these expensive cleaners for your toilet and another soap for, I used to wash my hair. It needs washing right now. I had an extra day to kind of let the oils go through my hair, and I've been brushing it a lot today because my ends are getting a little frayed and frizzy. I've never had frizzy hair in my life. But she taught me that soap is soap. And the soap that's on your shower door is the same soap you put on, say that 3 times in a row, same soap you put on your body. That's why you can just take a purple rag and just start rubbing it around. And I was going through some YouTube stuff yesterday, and I saw a post from somebody, I don't know who it was, and it was like Fly Lady versus this, and in the second line she said, She wants me to wax my sink. You know, y'all, if you don't want hard water stains to hit your sink, get some car wax and put on it, buff it out, and you've got a beautiful sink that water won't stick to. It'll just roll right off. Don't we try to do that with our dishes in our dishwasher with these rinsing agents so the water just rinses right off? Well, that's what car wax does to your kitchen sink. Yeah, you get that sink clean and shiny one time, and then all you wax it really well, the water just slides right off. Somebody said they saw, I didn't watch the video, but I just thought it was funny. I'd get your attention. She wants you to wax your sink. Well, she also wants you to get dressed to lace up shoes, fix your hair and face every morning. She wants you to declutter 15 minutes a day. Even an old white ceramic sink will look beautiful. It'll look beautiful. But Miss Wyatt was a fine teacher. Fine teacher. Her hair was so long. She would wear it braided, and she would wrap the braid around her head. Now, my great-grandmother, Wheeler, wore her hair like that too. And she died when I was 5. So everybody, life is good. God, everything we've ever done has prepared us for where we are right now. It really has. And if I think about it, I use something every day. Now, I was having a little discussion with Joy this morning. She's saving her pennies. She wants to get some fun sunglasses. Not cheap sunglasses, because let me warn you, if you save your money and you buy an expensive pair of sunglasses, you won't lose them. You know why? Because you've saved your money and you paid for them. This happened with Justin when he was a little kid. He wanted some Air Jordans. The one with Michael Jordan on the tongue, and he's got a basketball on it and you can pump them up. They were super expensive way back when he was a kid in the early 80s. Or in the 80s. And I said, son, if you want those shoes and you can save up the money to get them, we'll get them for you. But you got to pay for them. You know, he still has those shoes. And we were talking about them last summer. One of the kids here pressure washing our back deck loves tennis shoes. And I told him that Justin probably still had his tennis shoes. It was like the second year for Air Jordans. He said, do you know what those things are worth? But when Justin would get in from school, he'd take them off. He wouldn't go out in the woods playing with them. He would take them off. And when he took them off, he took care of them. He cleaned them up. He made sure they always looked good. So if you have a pair of sunglasses you want to buy so you look good this summer, get you an expensive pair of sunglasses and save your money for them. Don't just go out and buy them and put them on the credit card. Save your money to get what you want. And you'll hold on to them. Now, I have a spot in my car where my sunglasses stay. And one time I had a dog that ate a pair of my sunglasses. It just broke my heart. But you know what? I had ordered me a new pair because they were Maui Gems, and they got like the lens is reflective. But I'm not traveling much, so I probably haven't worn sunglasses in over a year. And the dog ate the Maui Gems, but he didn't destroy the lenses. And Robert fixed them for me. So those stay in my car. I got my good pair those stay in his car, and my good pair is in my car. So you see, if you hold on to something. Now, I don't know how the dog got my sunglasses. I must have brought them in and laid them on the table, and they were shiny. And we had a dog once upon a time that anything shiny she would eat. She liked her bling. I think it's because it was Michelle's dog. You know, I got Michelle evicted because of that dog, and that dog ended up having to come live with us for most of Her life, yeah. Ginger lived with us. So, God, everything that I have ever done in life has prepared me for this moment in time, for right now, for the pandemic, for everything. I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to healing, healing not just biblically healing, but healing common sense stuff with herbs. And um, I was listening to one of my favorite podcasters a while ago, and he's got some sinus crud. It's pollen time, all kinds of things. And he said, his wife wanted him to go get some cough syrup, and he said, "No, coughing's what I'm supposed to do. God made this body, and coughing up the phlegm is what I'm supposed to do." Well, when I have a cough and it's not productive, I drink plenty of water, and I take vitamin C, and I get in a bathtub, and I waterboard myself. I'll put a washcloth over my face or real close to my face, and I'll put the shower on hot, and I'll just breathe the steam. And the cough gets productive and stuff gets brought up. And there's some mountain books called the Foxfire books. No, it's Firefox books. Firefox, I think, is the name of them. It's Foxfire. And you can get them at the library. You can order them online. But these books have some mountain old wives' remedies for things. And I'm on Facebook for some Appalachian natural healing stuff, what the mountain people used to do. They used to have moonshine too. They would go to their sheriff and get a bottle, just a little pint bottle of moonshine, and they'd stick a peppermint stick in it, and that would be their cough medicine. I tell you what, one time I couldn't, I couldn't, I was traveling, and I was in Evanston, Wyoming, and I couldn't hardly breathe in Evanston, Wyoming. I'd just been diagnosed with anemia, and I couldn't hardly breathe, and I was getting laryngitis. And so I asked one of the maids at the hotel I was staying at, what do you do for when you lose your voice? And she says, I take a drink, I gargle with whiskey. Well, and then somebody said Goldschlager, and I couldn't drink it. No, I just couldn't drink it, but I could gargle with it. And that's the cure for laryngitis, is gargling with Goldschlager or some kind of clear alcohol. And it deadened your throat. It was amazing. But there's some people out there that have been curing diseases in the mountains, and they wrote about it in these Foxfire books. It's just I've been studying this stuff for probably close to 40 years, medicinal healing and letting your body. I also, if I've got a fever, I like to get in the bathtub and get my fever a little bit higher, because that's the only thing that kills viruses. So there's some common sense. Now, you can't do this with children. You don't want their fever to get too high, but it's your body. And you can watch your own temperature. You can take the thermometer with you and check your temperature while you're in the bathtub. But it works for me. It really does. And there's some interesting, what's in a hot toddy? I have no clue. I've never had a hot toddy. Never. Don't know what's in it. But this is medicinal tea. Our tea is made of 3 different kinds of tea. And it helps to stop the blood flow to your fat cells. Not that it's worked on me, but anyway, we learned that from Dr. Lee, L.I. Somebody uses apple cider vinegar in a glass. I like to put ice in my apple cider vinegar cocktail. Leanne and I turned it into a special thing to drink before our hot melt sprint dinner. Hot toddy is rum. Okay. You can tell I don't drink a whole lot. Wild turkey whiskey, lemon, and something else. So those old wives' remedies are pretty good. They work for me. I haven't been sick in 2 years. Not at all. Now I'm venturing out a little bit more here lately. We went to dinner last night. We didn't get home till 7:30, which we're used to being through with dinner by 6:30. So it's quite an adventure. Anyway. Oh, that feels good going down. Also, I like to wrap up in warm stuff, like my goose down comforter or a heated electric blanket throw that I can put over me, and that helps to keep the fever, helps to break the fever. Yeah, olive oil works in your sink too, but it goes away. The wax will stay there. So drink up. You know, God gave us this body, and this body is a miraculous thing. When Robert was in college, he was in a co-ed dorm. One floor was nurses and the other floor was lawyers. I don't know, but he learned a lot, and he had a lot of pre-med. His best friend was pre-med, Frank. And they learned that it's the acute things that happen, like appendicitis, abscess tooth, stuff like that, that end up being killing you, you know? You know, you get an upper tooth that's abscessed, that can go straight to your brain. So you need, if you got an abscessed tooth, you need to take care of that. And you know who I'm talking to, y'all. Y'all don't know, but she knows. But taking care of those acute things when they first happen, nipping them in the bud, like Barney Fife used to say, nipping them in the bud. When you start feeling a little congestion in the morning, you need to drink your water, take your vitamin C, and take care of yourself. And I mean take your vitamin C. Read Dr. Saul's book on, what's the name of the book, Patty? What is the name of that book? But Dr. Andrew Saul, S-A-U-L. He's written a book about the virtues of vitamin C, and it is amazing. So just look him up on Amazon, you'll find him. But he can cure a lot of things. And I've cured a lot of things with echinacea. It's a purple coneflower. Now, I don't know how to make, from the root, I don't know how to make the herb, because I like my purple coneflowers. But I have a garden of them, if I ever needed to. I have a supply of the capsules, too. My favorite one is Echinacea augustifolia, is my favorite species of it, genus and species, and I've cured everything from snake bite. Yeah, I had a friend who got bit by 2 copperheads, and her hand swelled up like this, and we put her on a regimen of, we showed it to her, and she took it on her own. I didn't put her on the regimen. I just said, try this. You might like it. And it got rid of it. Snake bite. And I've cured abscessed tooth. I had one once upon a time, and I took that in the dentist, because I hadn't taken an antibiotic in probably 13 or 14 years when I got this abscess. And the dentist wanted to put me on an antibiotic, and I said, no, I don't really want to ruin my gut. And he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, let me try my echinacea. Let me try that, and I'll come back if it doesn't work in 3 days. And I promised him I would come back in 3 days. He couldn't believe it. This is before the internet. He couldn't believe that I cured the abscess in 3 days. It's because I got a good body that God gave me. Now, I helped it along, but I drank plenty of water. You got to flush the toxins out of your system. That's what drinking your water is all about, y'all. Drink your water. I think the other thing is golden seal, but I'm allergic to golden seal, so I can't do golden seal, but I have it in my yard. I can find it out in my forest. And when I feel myself getting anemic, that's why I have that little oximeter that I put on my finger every night before bed. I check my oxygen levels, and they're right up there, 98, 97. But if they drop down to 90, 92, I know that I am on the anemic side. So I take iron until it comes back up. But when I take iron, I have to take magnesium, because when you take iron, and if you take iron and you go to the doctor and they're going to think you have a colon that is leaking blood of some sort, but it's not. It's the iron. It's like eating a lot of red meat. So don't let them think don't let them think you have something bad going on in your, like colon cancer or anything. Iron, it turns your stool black, and that's a sign that you have blood in your stool. But it's not, it's iron. So I've learned a lot. Leanne and I are compatible when it comes to this stuff. So know if you have to go to the doctor, they're going to think that you have something bad wrong with you. When I first found out I was anemic, my doctor wouldn't let me travel. And he said, "You can't go. I've got to send you to the hospital, and we got to find out what's going on." And I said, "Give me a prescription for what you want me to take." And then, and he said, "As soon as you get to Salt Lake City, you go to the hospital and get checked to see if you have any internal." Do not take the medication. Just go get tested to see if you have any internal bleeding. And they took 5 hours to figure out what was wrong with me. 5 hours. I was worn out. I mean, absolutely worn out. The lady that picked us up at the airport, her brothers ran the emergency room. Talk about being able to, God providing everything. Yeah. And the reason I got anemic at that time was I had been 2 years, had lost 53 pounds on a low carb diet. No bread, no flour, no wheat, nothing. And wheat products wheat in the United States is fortified with iron. It's fortified with iron. And if your children have constipation, vitamin C and magnesium are two vitamins and minerals that help with constipation, where they don't have to take this psyllium stuff. And there's wonderful things with chia seeds. You put a tablespoon of chia seeds into a quart of water in a jar, put it in the refrigerator and let it sit, and then add those chia seeds to your smoothies or to pudding. Get some chia seeds. Chia seeds are good. You need fiber. Preferably organic chia seeds. But 1 tablespoon in this water, it's going to swell up, and you are going to have the greatest bowel movements you've ever had. That's something to be proud of, I'm telling you. Especially if you've ever been stove up. It's not fun. Anyway, folks, I've run my mouth long enough. Y'all have a good rest of the day. What are you doing for date night? I can't find the House Heidelberg food truck. I think it's at a winery on the other side of Hendersonville. That's just a little bit too long for us to go. Chia seeds are on Amazon. That's where I get them. They come in a little zipped pouch. A little goes a long way. Willow says, Patty, don't listen. Patty hates it when I talk potty talk. She's a prim and proper Southern girl. She was born in Alabama. Well, folks, please share our videos. If you're on YouTube, go over to Facebook and like our page. And then if you're on Facebook, go over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you can always find us. It's The Fly Lady. My nose is itching. Well, y'all have fun. That's what tea time's about, is just having a conversation with your girlfriends. And if Robert's here, your guy friends. Well, y'all just get things where you can get it. Get things where you can get it. Anyway, I love you all. I will see you after a while. Tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. What are you doing for fun tomorrow? Just a tablespoon in some water and just pour some out. I use one of those little shaker jars that you make a smoothie in and put mine in there. I love you all. Y'all be good, kind, and sweet. Do a wonderful good deed for somebody. And I'll see you back in here tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, my little furniture flipping teacher, she put up a new piece of furniture, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. And it's green. She did such a good job on this dresser. I've never seen anything like it. She's getting to be quite the furniture person. Check her out. She is so motivating. She's a teacher. Check her out. Anyway, furniture flipping teacher. She's from Omaha, Nebraska. I love you all. I'll see you later.